Hello once again, loyal viewers. It is your friend Wild Elf 26. This is another walking rant. I'm starting a little earlier than I usually do. But it's going to be about a lot of things too. But mostly it's going to be about Hollywood movies, and especially superhero movies, where they can't be bothered to make actual proper costumes anymore, but they're using just kind of a green body stock and then adding costume details later. And there's a couple other relatable rants that I gotta go on too to get it off my chest. Alright guys, let's start the walking rant. Boom. Alright. So, a while back I noticed when a movie star and a superhero actor that has played a few different hero characters for the Marvel Universe, or even the Marvel Universe before the Disney Marvel, Ryan Reynolds. That's right, Ryan Reynolds. He was also in the DC movie Green Lantern, of course, which a lot of people didn't give very good reviews about, and he himself did not have a very good time making that movie. Apparently they had a very sadistic director or something. I'm not sure what the details were that Ryan Reynolds recalled about that, but basically, according to Reynolds, the whole time of the productions and everything, he was being very intimidated, and he was treated like his input into the project and any opinions he had simply didn't matter. And it was a very unusual thing for Ryan Reynolds there. But moving past the Green Lantern, and I'm sure Ryan Reynolds has tried to, we come to his appearance in the third Wesley Snipes Blade movie. It was Blade Trinity, as I recall, and he played a group of renegades that were fighting against the vampires, and they actually came and rescued Blade when the vampires had used the police to get Blade, and they rescued him from the PD. And Ryan Reynolds was in ultimate superhero form, and he had also been physically really, sculptured, really physically cut, whatever you call that, in superhero shape, basically. And he went through a lot of physical training when he did the X-Men movie called X-Men Origins Wolverine, where he played essentially a prototype version of his Deadpool character. It was kind of an alternate universe, three-off type, very bizarre reimagining of Deadpool in that particular regard. Almost ludicrous. Spoiler alert, especially to the part later where he has full-size sword blades come out of his arms like Wolverine. Yeah, that was ridiculous. But it had a lot of star cameos in it. And Hugh Jackman was a trooper. He came and did that movie. I can't really say much positive about that movie. And I don't think most of the actors from that movie can say much positive about it either at this point in time. And we're finding out now that, the MCU or the MCU has really been kind of not doing their actors very good, especially financially, and how they've been giving them dialogue. A lot of them find unnatural or doesn't mesh well, and just a rigid stubbornness not to alter the dialogues. Another character, Chris Hemsworth, who is famous for, of course, playing Thor in a ton of Marvel Thor movies, including the Avengers that are connected with Thor. But he felt that they were kind of lampooning Thor and making him kind of the comedy relief. And he wasn't happy about it. They were taking away his regal superhero stature and trying to make something laughable about it. And yeah, so a lot of us can see where he's coming from on that. But the originating point of why I started this walking rant was that Ryan Reynolds, and this is one of my really peeves me off kind of thing. He went through all that physical training, and we're talking like combat, movie, kung fu kind of training, to play Deadpool in X-Men Origins, and or Wade Wilson, whatever you want to call it. He got into sword training, all this stuff where he's not wearing a mask. They aren't using a stunt double because a good chunk of his Wade Wilson moments, he's not wearing the actual Deadpool outfit at all. We can clearly see it's definitely Ryan Reynolds throughout the whole thing, which, you know, would be a good thing, except for what this is leading up to. What this is leading up to is Ryan Reynolds getting into all that great shape, and then not only that, but doing all the fight training and all the fight choreography. Well, lo and behold, when we finally get the proper first Deadpool movie, where Ryan Reynolds is now wearing the iconic, true Deadpool costume, you know, he looks like the comic book Deadpool for all intents and purposes. Keeping in mind, he went through all this time and trouble doing fight training, martial art training, and who knows whatever real world training he may have already had, simply because he was interested in fitness and fitness activities such as martial arts, and maybe there's a little interest in the MMA as also. You know, the MMA is very popular, and lots of people are doing MMA training, and they're trying to boost their overall muscle strength and maybe their cardio. You know, they want to feel a little better rounded, so they train in MMA, and that's a great thing, you know. Heck, celebrity host, podcast host Joe Rogan, you know, and part-time UFC commentator Joe Rogan, he definitely got into MMA, and he's definitely better for it, you know. And I think it also helps with his authority and his demeanor during his interviews, you know. Nobody's going to get too out of hand because there's a strong chance that Joe Rogan can kick their butt. So, you know, these little vegan celebrities and that kind of bounce in there, or the wiry music stars that if they're in a clear-minded moment, they walk in there and try to behave themselves. But we're getting back to Ryan Reynolds. And so he does the first Deadpool movie. You know, absolute success movie. Then he does the second Deadpool movie. Supreme success. Public can't get enough. And then all the excerpts, all the media, all the behind the scenes and little tidbits being fed to everybody, supposedly as leaks, you know. Oh, this footage was leaked, you know. Yeah, right. They show a Deadpool logo at one point, or Deadpool word, and then they showed the three blades of Wolverine's adamantium claws going through the Deadpool word, leaving three distinct scratches. And as a poster, as a still shot, one would definitely interpret that as the word Deadpool with what's definitely a prominent number 3, 3 slashes. But then after all this rigmarole, after it finally comes to bear, you know, that this movie's in production, it's been doing all this, and they're almost done, and they're at the final edit cuts and whatever. Well, then they decide that the title will be Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah. I mean, they totally promoted this thing. They totally gave people the impression that this is Deadpool 3. Completely. Deadpool 3, you know, hands down, no one's arguing with it, Deadpool 3. But, I don't know, there was posturing, maneuvering, whatever it was. They're trying to get a better deal. They don't feel that Disney was doing them very decently in some of the previous endeavors. And, well, so they basically kind of rename it Deadpool and Wolverine. But all intents and purposes, the way they were building it up in the first place, it was Deadpool 3. But according to official things, you know, when they talked to Mr. Reynolds about it, Ryan Reynolds, he claims it's not the third installment. This is like a side event. So him saving the multi-realities by getting a proper Wolverine, you know, basically not only saving the universe, but saving multi-universes, basically. That's what he considers a side event. I mean, what could be more important? What goal in a movie, you know, saving all these amounts of realities and introducing a Fantastic Four character that we knew from the past, played by the actor that also plays Captain America. Yeah. So, my gripe, beyond the obvious misdirection of letting us know it was Deadpool 3, and then at the 11th hour, you know, before the releases of the movie, telling us that it's Deadpool and Wolverine instead. Okay. So, to me, that's maneuvering. They want to make another Deadpool movie. Instead of calling it Deadpool 4, they want to call it Deadpool 3. So, and I don't know if it'll ever get made because Disney, Marvel, and the tendrils of Feige and Kathy Kennedy, and I just don't I don't see how it's gonna materialize in that. And I was talking about the costumes, of course, and we noticed with movies like Marvel, Civil War, Marvel, Endgame, yeah, there's a lot of costumes that are later added digital. Pardon me, my mouth doesn't want to function right for some reason. There are a lot of costumes that are added after the fact in edit, where they made the actors wear like a body sock that was green, almost like a green screen person, which is essentially like a Party City morph suit green without the hood, and in some cases with a hood. But then they digitally add the costume, add the colors, add the unusual shapes, things that probably couldn't physically be done or couldn't be done easily, that would involve some engineering and definitely some cost hikes during the production. So that's where we're at with that. However, my guff against Ryan Reynolds is this guy got into physical shape, and to this day he maintains being in physical top shape so he can do the Deadpool character. And like I said, he got training. He learned movie foo, he learned movie sword play. But the problem is, ever since Deadpool 1, the official Deadpool that he's wearing the costume, when they've showed us behind the scenes footage or in the multi-disc set versions of the home release special features, he's had multiple stand-ins, and for the majority of the martial arts stuff, he's had a guy for that. Now that's what gets me. He's already had training for these fight scenes and other things and swordplay, but he's not doing any of them. So we're basically getting Ryan Reynolds as a voice recording artist, where there's a few shots of him in costume without the hood, but wearing the grotesque shriveled testicle face makeup. You know, some people call it the Freddy Krueger makeup, you know. But I think my description was much more accurate. So he's doing the character, but as voiceover. At least in Deadpool Wolverine, when they had the arrival onto the screen of the Ryan Reynolds version of DEADPOol, where his face is not ruined by the medical procedure, possibly because DEADPOol may have never had that medical procedure. I'm sure he regenerates, but he probably had a different word for it, and it probably wasn't anywhere close to the kind of regeneration power of the regular Deadpools that were showing up. And there's no way DEADPOol could have held up to the brunt of Lady Deadpool's multiple Uzis. He literally got tore to pieces, you know. But, or did he? Multiverse, find out for yourself. But yeah, so Ryan didn't have to wear the horrible Krueger face makeup, whatever. But the problem is, when you verify the moments when Ryan is actually wearing the suit, mostly when you can actually see his face, he's not doing the action scene. He's not, you're not getting the martial art magic. He's the merc with the mouth. He's supposed to be representing that mercenary training. And here he goes, you know, from his days from Van Wilder to Amityville Horror to Lantern to X-Men Wolverine Origins. He's getting all this physical training and combat training and all this, and probably a good familiarity with the prop and real firearms. After all, Deadpool's a mercenary. He's not limited to just the martial arts and swordplay. He also can use a wide variety of artillery, heavy and light. But yeah, I maintain that I gotta cry, I gotta scream from the rooftops. I gotta scream, foul deal, you know. Did we get any Ryan Reynolds martial art happening at all in any of these 3 so far Deadpool movies? Even though this third Deadpool movie that they were touting as Deadpool 3 is now almost aggressively being called Deadpool and Wolverine. So did we get any actual martial art, anything out of Ryan Reynolds through the course of these masked Deadpool movies? And that's my question, you know. And sure, he's getting a little older, but then again, he's in supreme physical fitness. It's like a long time ago when Arnold Schwarzenegger did Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. physically, when he did a physical checkup with the doctor before doing this movie, or in the course of accepting the role to do the third Terminator movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger at that time was told he had the body of a 20-year-old as far as his physical fitness and health. And that's saying something. So by that fitness grade, that fitness commonality, I'm guessing Ryan Reynolds, being in very trim, very lean shape, in addition to the superhero muscle bulk, he's probably, I'm no expert physician or any of that stuff, but I bet by a similar doctor, he's probably got the body of an 18 Olympian, an 18-year-old Olympian. So, yeah, he gets occasional gray hairs on his face and stuff and whatever. But he's been kept in peak condition for a good while now. And it would be nice if it would be less Deadpool stand-in, definitely less Deadpool martial artist. I mean, at this point, I'm certain they hired a guy that does gymnastics too, to also wear the Deadpool costume. And okay, Ryan, you're going to be backflipping over this guy, flipping over this, doing parkour, And then we find out that none of that, like none of it was Ryan Reynolds, just the voiceover, And I'm sorry, but this really burns my gears, Mainly because for the lead up until this, at least till the first Deadpool movie, and Ryan's previous bodies of work in other movies and Marvel-related movies, we build up this decent opinion of the guy, as this rising comedic action star, and then, it feels like they pulled the rug out from under us, and they're showing us that such a large degree of the movie in the physical fight sequences wasn't even Ryan. Just his voice. So, yeah. Pardon me, folks, but as a fan of comic superhero movies, as a fan of Marvel, despite that there's not much left to be a fan of with Marvel, too many bad decisions right now. I hear that the ratings for Ironheart are tanking terribly. Right now, DC's going through some crap. DC Comics is going through garbage with their movie universe because they've been putting all this hype into the Superman movie. And from what I understand, quite a few people, including legitimate critics, are not thrilled with the Superman movie. Some of the preliminary reviews of it said it was excessively woke. So these are not incentives for me to go watch this new Superman movie. Plus the way Warner Brothers treated Henry Cavill, the Man of Steel, that was something too, seeing him show up in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie as an alternate Wolverine, with Deadpool referring to him as the Cavalrine. Sure, he'd probably be an excellent Wolverine, but would Marvel ever consider him? I don't know, because at this stage of Marvel, with its MCU and their need to kind of doofus the macho characters and try to make their women characters all be like Captain Marvel, infallible and perfect and stronger than everybody, and they don't need a man, kind of thing. That's been played, it's been done to death. We're tired of that, Marvel. If you want to start making good movies, good money again, then you do stuff like Deadpool and Wolverine. You follow that mindset. You let people involved in that project in a good way start giving you the right ideas going forward with X-Men franchise. The fact that the original Human Torch was really happy, a crowd pleaser to see him in the Deadpool and Wolverine, that tells you something. It's like, hey, remember those original actors that were the Fantastic Four? At the beginning of the 2000s or whatnot. Yeah, let's consider bringing them back. Michael Chiklis says a thing. That kind of thing. But the fans are the ones that go see this stuff. If you're trying to make a movie appealing to people that don't like science fiction movies, and the entire property is a science fiction property, then you've already lost half the battle there by thinking you're going to convince them to go see your science fiction thing. Those people don't want to see that. They want to see crap like, they want to see the chick flicks. They want to see the Notebook and things like that, and it's not that that's a bad movie, but it's a prime example of a popular chick flick. What was Bridget Jones' Diary and that kind of stuff too. That's what they want to see. That their audience that they keep trying to craft this Marvel stuff for does not want to see the Marvel stuff, science fiction stuff. They really don't care about that. However, I'll throw you a flip side. There's a huge effing franchise. Yeah, gear up, Disney. Gear up with your money. Because one, you're going to have to purchase it from a rival company. And then you're going to have to get the original actors on board and some newer actors and find a way to make the whole thing work. You want your woke audience to like some type of superhero type show? A show with heroes and magic and stuff? Fine. The only one that fits that bill, you remember it, back from, I think it was in the 90s into the start of the 2000s. Xena, Hercules, Lucy Lawless, Kevin Sorbo. Your audience was quite big on that stuff at that time. But it wasn't your audience because it was for a different movie house, different studio. So you're going to pour all that money into the toilet, basically. And you're not going to have any returns because you're catering a property that audience clearly doesn't want anything to do with. No matter what you do, what you cater it to have as a star leader or something, they're not going to go for it. Okay, Marvel? But you want a hero franchise with magic and stuff that they've already established that they did like quite passionately. Yeah, Hercules, Xena, or specifically Xena, Like I said, you get the originals involved, you get some young folks too, and you try to make it work. Whether it's de-aging technologies or some other interesting digital help, and then you get these actors to maybe help you properly select and cast maybe a replacement for themselves in the franchise, or maybe even a multiverse thing, to start off and then continue from there with the newer actors. There you go, Marvel. That's my that's my free big idea to you, Disney Marvel. You want to make a lot of money? That's what you do. Sorry, we got an ambulance zooming by. Yeah, the traffic's rather normal right now, so there's nobody blocking him. Funny thing is, he got to the middle of the intersection, almost stopped the ambulance instead of continuing on. So I guess that's not much of an emergency. No, he's going kind of slow, actually. I guess they had to go buy a burrito or something, decided to use the lights and siren. Alrighty, guys. That's pretty much all I had to say about it. Okay. You have a great one till next time, and may the Triforce bless you all. And if you agree with any of this or have some idea to add to it, please do so in the comments. And remember, check like on the big top like part of this video. That's what helps the algorithm. Alrighty.